All right, so it hasn't been a great week for public tech company earnings reports, unless, of course, you are Facebook. Joining us to talk about Facebook's monster quarter is Alex Kontrowitz from BuzzFeed. How's it going, Alex?
It's going well. Thanks for having me, Jason.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. So Facebook reported net income of $1.51 billion for the quarter. That's triple the $512 million it earned last year for the same quarter. What is Facebook doing right that its competitors apparently are not?
Well, I think the truth of the matter is Facebook's just bigger than all of its competitors. I mean, look what happened with Twitter. You saw that they missed their revenue expectations. And it's a time where user growth has really caught up with Twitter. So, advertisers are looking at these social media companies like Twitter knows well that it's in the social media bucket. And so advertisers are looking at these social media companies in the bucket and saying, which can do the most for our money? And all these companies are having a hard time coming up against Twitter. I mean, coming up against Facebook, the company is growing pretty spectacularly still, which is amazing. I mean, how much more could the company grow? That's what I ask myself after each earnings report, and yet it continues to grow. It's at 1.65 billion monthly active users right now. So how do you compete with that if you're a smaller social network? It's hard to say.
I mean, as far as growth is concerned, I mean, at what point does Facebook hit the wall? Like you say, it's kind of crazy to think about those numbers and just the sheer, amount that they're tripling, per year is just insane. So obviously, Facebook's, mobile first strategy is working. 79% of its revenue tied to mobile advertising specifically. What does Facebook have to be worried about at this point, or is it just kind of all roses?
Well, I think the original sharing thing is something that Facebook needs to pay attention to closely. Might not kill its business, but it's definitely an issue. And it came up today during analyst Q&A, and Mark Zuckerberg gave a pretty interesting answer. He said sharing is up across the platform. Time on the platform is up basically on all of its products, but he didn't say original sharing is up. Mm-hmm. And when original sharing is the stuff that when you and I would post our text or a photo or a video, as opposed to, let's say, just hitting the share button on something that a media company has posted or a meme that we see. And as that stuff declines, Facebook is going to become less vibrant. You're going to see less of those heartfelt statuses. You're going to see less of those goofy photos that you once saw, and more of this starch professional content. So Facebook doesn't want this to be the case. It wants original sharing to go back up. And so as that continues to decline, it's something that bears watching.
So was he making the case that original sharing isn't the future of Facebook? Because I know that live streaming, and you wrote a piece about how all the platforms are doing this. They're paying some celebrities or just some people to live stream on their platform. Is that what he's saying, that maybe like social networks will be more traditional content where it's a person that we admire sharing their content and not our grandma?
I think he very much wants original sharing to go back up on the platform. And he actually referenced that when he was talking about live stream. Last question on the call, and Ella said, "Hey, what's up with the live stream?" And then Zuckerberg says, "Well, we need to give people tools to express themselves and to share more, and that's like a thing that people want to do, and we just need to provide them the tools." And that to me indicates that he wants to see more original sharing on the platform. But then, if that's the case, the way that Facebook's going about this is pretty crazy. Because alongside this desire to bring more raw and visceral content, which is the way Zuckerberg describes it, into the platform, they're also making the live API available to studios. And this past weekend, they'd streamed their first professional sports game. So I would say, which one do you want, Facebook? Do you want more original sharing? Do you want to bring down the barrier that a lot of people feel they need to meet in order to post on the platform? And if that's the case, then scrap the API that gives broadcast quality video a chance to work on, through the live streaming.
Alex, Becky Worley here. I think you've nailed it in terms of your point that he's hedging his bets. I think there's the great hope that this generation will be able to create original content in video because they have the tools. But maybe I'm just a wizened or a gnarled old video producer and know it's not just about the tools, is that creating compelling video is a real skill set that needs to be developed and nurtured over time. And I think you just completely encapsulated the fact that they don't know whether original content can or cannot sustain that engagement level that they want out of video. What do you see as the prognosis for the more commercial and studio-driven content to take dominance?
I think it's likely. I mean, if you've ever gone live, I mean, even right now, it's so difficult. It's really, really hard. And I've gone live with my personal account a few times. And I have to say, even when I do it through BuzzFeed's accounts, I struggle with it. I'm not naturally good at this stuff. And I make content for a living. So I think that if Facebook thinks that everybody out there is going to see that they can go live and just do it, they're betting on something that's unlikely to happen. On the other hand, what you mentioned, professional video sources, there are people that create professional content for a living. Yeah, I would bet that they would jump on this as they have already. So we could see more of that and probably not as much of the original stuff as Facebook hopes.
One other thing I noticed on the call is that an analyst asked Sheryl Sandberg about how they're reaching out to small and medium-sized businesses, and she was really pushing how advertising on Facebook is such a great platform, and it's really sort of budget-friendly for those SMBs, small and medium businesses. But then when you think about video ads and the cost of production for an effective video ad, it doesn't really matter how much it costs to run it on Facebook, which is something like $4 per 1,000 views. Actually creating a video campaign that an advertiser could use is cost prohibitive only to the largest of companies, right?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, we're definitely seeing easier tools to create video, but it's still, as I mentioned, incredibly difficult to do this. And so you're right. Where are these mom and pop shops going to get the quality video that they're going to run on the platform? I don't see it happening. I mean, I started my career as an ad buyer. And one of the things that we did was we were running print ads. And then we thought, well, maybe we'll do digital ads. And so we tried out Facebook. And it was enough of the battle to say, let's move print ads to digital. I can't even imagine what the looks I would get if I said, hey, you know those digital ads? I need $10,000 to make a video that we can put on Facebook. I mean, $10,000 is my entire media budget. So where do you come up with the cash?
You just hold up your phone and you go, hey, guys.
Yeah. That's going to sell it, Jason.
Well, no, maybe what Mark Zuckerberg is banking on is that there's going to be so many people lowering the barrier for live video that it's going to change our expectations. I don't know.
Yes. Hang on. Let me just say, if he's going to, I know you're about to transition.
It's okay.
But if he's going to do that, then why is he giving these live capabilities to studios and showing soccer games through the live product? If he thinks that people want to share more, then it makes no sense to put literally the highest quality video we have out there and pump it right through the live product. I don't get it.
I have something to say about the soccer game because it was a women's soccer game. It was Alex Morgan's Facebook page. She's from the women's soccer team. I am a soccer mom, so I know this. I've been to see these soccer games. They fill half the stadium. I mean, it's just an issue, and yet there are a lot of fans of women's soccer out there. I mean, they're the best team in the world, and so harnessing them in a place like Facebook, I can see where they're going with that because it's not the fans of a football. It's not the same as a football team, but there are a lot of dedicated fans. And so it's interesting and also interesting to me because, I mean, how does that work? Did they pay Alex Morgan to post that on her Facebook page? Do you know how that works?
I do know how that works. Alex Morgan is one of the people that Facebook is paying to do live streams on their pages. So she's part of a pilot that Facebook is in the middle of experimenting with, where they're giving celebrities and athletes and media companies some money in exchange for the promise of doing a certain number of live videos at a time.
That model just blows my mind. I mean, you're a fan of female sports, Becky. What do you think about that?
Well, I think I see it more from a perspective of the business as a whole. And my philosophy is that the future of broadcasting is narrowcasting. And that doesn't mean low quality narrowcasting, but it has to be cost effective narrowcasting. And one of the ways that you can really reduce cost is by reducing transmission costs and Facebook and platform costs, right? So Facebook has already got all of the infrastructure for transmission and platform. Now, what they have to do is they have to aggregate those niche communities so that they can adequately narrowcast and monetize properly to make the production cost worthwhile.